Santé.
Here's to us.
It's actually going to happen.
Still time to change your mind.
No. Rien de rien. Non, je ne veux rien. Ba, 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 ba.
Maggie, if we're going to live here, I'd be grateful if you'd learn at least one other French song.
Bonjour, messieurs, dames. Comment allez-vous?
Oh, très bien, merci, monsieur. Et vous?
Ça va très bien, merci.
Oh, merci.
Merci.
Merci. Probably thinks we're French.
Definitely.
6 degrees centigrade. That's 43 degrees Fahrenheit at home.
Should be getting back or we'll miss the crossing.
Oh, no, not yet. I want to go and see the house again.
You'll have all the time in the world to look at the house if our offer is accepted.
Oh, I know we're going to get it. We'll have Irene and George down straight away, and we better ask Hugh and Rosie as well, or there'll be trouble.
Maggie.
A proper house party.
Maggie, the idea was to retire here quietly.
Your idea was to retire here quietly, not mine.
But if we fill the house with all your friends...
Our friends.
We might as well be at home.
Except here we've got better food, and better weather, and better wine.
I want a bit of peace.
Then you shouldn't have married me.
Quiet life.
You've had your quiet life. All those boring years at the Ministry of Pen pushing.
Yes, but I stuck at it so we could move here.
We can't hibernate.
But if we tell everyone we live in France, the place will be heaving with visitors all the time.
Lovely.
Well, we don't have to tell them all, just the people we like.
That rules out Graham and Bootface.
One day you can call her that to her face.
We won't have to see her again if we're leaving the country.
They'll want to come for holidays.
Oh, no, they won't. Bootface always says we spend too much time enjoying ourselves. Not enough time caring.
Yeah. Remember when she gave you that calendar, the world's worst ecological disasters, one for each month?
I think I responded with admirable restraint.
Then Graham asked us to leave.
He's worse than she is. This will be the perfect time to cut our ties with him.
Wouldn't be upset if he never saw us again.
Some relationships just aren't made to last.
No Christmas card.
Make a clean break.
No forwarding address.
Why? Is there any reason why we should tell Graham we're leaving?
None at all that I can think of. Except we're his parents.
Avec mes souvenirs, j'ai allumé le feu. Mes chagrins, mes plaisirs, je n'ai
Maggie,
plus...
you are not and never will be Edith Piaf.
Only because you never let me practice. Where did you put the sausages and cold meats?
Box at the back. God, Camembert's a bit ripe. I'm practically unconscious.
Right, you take that. I shall take the champagne. We are going to have a brilliant lunch.
Non, rien de rien. Rien de rien.
Hello, Mrs. Prentice. Mr. Prentice.
Liz, what are you doing here? It's not one of your usual days, is it?
Well, I knew you were due back today, and I
We've
had
got
to...
some smashing cheese for you.
Mrs. Prentice.
Liz, we've got some very exciting news.
Oh, well, actually, I've got some...
We found a house in France. Fingers crossed they're going to accept our offer.
Note from the estate agents, the Smiths have offered the asking price on this place.
That's fantastic. We're on our way. We better have a glass of wine to celebrate.
Wine? I said the champagne.
House is looking lovely and clean. Everything all right? No problems? Oh, burglar alarm went off again, did it?
Actually, he's come to see you, Mrs. Prentice.
Has he? Andrew, policeman to see us.
I told you not to jump those lights in Calais.
What's this all about?
Would you like to sit down?
No, thanks. I've been sitting down all day.
Perhaps some strong, sweet tea.
That's for shock, isn't it?
Look, there's no easy way to put this, and I'm sorry to break the news to you, but it's about your son.
Graham?
And your daughter-in-law.
Bootface.
I'm afraid there's been an accident.
Why don't you go home, Liz?
I'll wait till Mr. Prentice comes back from the police station.
No, you get off.
I'm not leaving you on your own. Another coffee?
Well, all right, thank you.
Mr. Prentice looked very upset when he went off.
Oh, he hates to miss a decent lunch. Oh, I'm sorry, Liz, I've shocked you.
It's perfectly understandable. Humour is a common way of coping with grief. Oprah said it on her show.
Did she?
I didn't know what to do. You'd only just gone as well. And to think you were driving around France for a whole month, never knowing that your only son had been cut down in his prime.
Graham never had a prime. He wouldn't have recognised his prime if it had picked him up by his polyester lapels and head-butted him.
Right, let it out. Oprah said anger is a very common reaction to grief.
Do you know why I'm angry, Liz?
Yes. Because your son and his wife have been killed in a car crash.
I'm angry with myself because I don't feel anything.
You're in denial.
I'm not.
People often talk about the numbness of grief. It's a very common reaction.
Oh, Oprah said that as well, did she?
Well, actually, it was Claire Rayner. What was he like?
Graham? Oh, I didn't know him very well.
But he was your son.
We didn't have much in common.
You must have loved him. Didn't you?
I never even liked him very much. But it was mutual. Even when he was a baby, whenever anyone else held him, he just lay there calmly. When I picked him up, he howled the place down.
Perhaps he felt insecure. You and your mother and everything.
He didn't like me, Liz. He often told me he felt he deserved better in a mother, but I wasn't cut out for motherhood. No point in pretending.
Didn't you ever bond at all?
Oh, I thought he might get nicer as he got older, but then he married Bootface. She had a diploma in domestic science.
Oh, so you often pop round for a meal then?
Not since Christmas Day 5 years ago. I just forced down the nut and lentil rissoles, and I was about to light up when Miss Auntie-Everything told me if I wanted to smoke, I could go into the garden. So I told them they could stuff Christmas.
Only 5 miles away, but a world apart. And now they're both...
Yes. Yes.
Everything all right? When I say everything all right, I didn't mean all right in that sense.
Don't worry, love. You just get off home.
I'll give you a ring in the morning, Mrs. Prentice. See if you need me to do any extra hours in the circumstances.
Thank you, Liz.
And thank you for staying with Maggie.
Well, what happened?
Well, I spoke to the coroner's office. They had an inquest, but it was a simple car crash. No one else involved. Just them and a tree.
And to think of all the trees he saved.
Some elderly aunt of Bootface's said that, well, told the coroner that Graham was estranged from his parents.
Well, that's true.
She identified the bodies and arranged the funeral.
When was that?
End of last month. There's the bill.
Oh, Auntie didn't do everything then.
Maggie.
I'm sorry. But this is a hell of a homecoming.
Look, we can have a service for them if you want.
What could we honestly say about them in a church?
Certainly nothing that we said in France.
I think I shot Liz. I told her we didn't get on with Graham.
Well, it was a bit of a surprise to find that we'd reared a teetotal piano teacher.
Maybe he'd have grown up differently if he hadn't gone to boarding school.
Oh, I did that for his sake.
Really? He was always telling us he hated it.
Oh, and you pleaded with me to bring him home, did you?
Well, I left all that sort of thing to you.
Well, it suited you not to have him around. Don't blame me.
Look, we shouldn't be talking like this. He's dead. It's over.
It isn't.
Oh?
There are the children.
Oh, yes, of course. We'll go and see how they are tomorrow. Who's looking after them?
You like a drink? I'm having one.
Well, what's happening with the children? Andrew?
Drink this first.
Why?
Just do it.
What for? You don't mean they're coming to stay?
Live.
Live? With us? Don't be ridiculous.
There's no one else.
But surely Bootface had parents?
No, Mother died, and she was a widow, don't you remember?
No. Sisters, then. She must have brothers and sisters.
Only child.
What about the elderly aunt? She seems very capable.
No, she's in her 80s. The neighbours are helping her look after the children, but she's too old to go. I said we'd pick them up in the morning.
In the morning? Why us?
We are their next of kin.
I'm not going to be next of kin.
You have no choice. We're their grandparents.
What about agencies? Oh, there must be agencies for this sort of thing. They could find them something suitable.
They're not looking for a job. They've lost their parents.
Fostering. We could find them some nice foster parents, people who like children. Not like me, I don't like children. We can always visit them, take them videos.
Look, you're hysterical.
Not yet, but I'm getting there.
Sit down.
This is going to ruin our lives.
Their lives have already been ruined. Now, stop thinking about yourself for a moment and think about the children.
The children are exactly what I'm thinking about. I am not a suitable person to bring them up. I wouldn't be good for them.
Well, unfortunately, you're all they've got. It's our responsibility.